They told you small business was dead. They said Main Street couldn't compete with Wall Street. They lied. Right now, behind closed doors in Washington, the most powerful tax revolution in American history is being unleashed. One bill, one signature, 1 million new jobs, no auto pen. But here's what they're not telling you. While Democrats scream about protecting the poor, they're actively fighting against the very tax cuts that would save working families $13,000 a year. The establishment wants you broke, dependent, and grateful for the scraps that fall off their table. Now, President Trump has other plans. And what you're about to see is going to change everything you thought about who is really fighting for the American dream. You're going to want to keep watching. Now, here's the hard truth about protecting what you built. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That means $100,000 savings today becomes $50,000 by 2031. You see it at the pump. You see it at the grocery store. You see it when you're buying your kids' toys. You see it everywhere. But here's a proven way to protect your wealth. It's gold. Gold. This is why I trust Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to safeguard your savings with physical gold or silver. No pressure, no call centers, just honest guidance and transparent pricing. Now, right now, with qualified accounts, you can get a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Visit nextnewsgold.com to learn more. Don't just protect your wealth, preserve its power. Now, the battle lines are drawn. On one side, President Trump and Republicans are fighting for the largest tax cut in American history. On the other hand, Democrat, communists, socialists like Chuck Schumer are spreading lies about Medicaid cuts while protecting illegal aliens who drain the system. Watch Kelly Loeffler, head of the Small Business Administration, explain exactly what's at stake. She's meeting with senators who understand that Main Street is the backbone of America. This is not just another political promise. It's economic warfare against the establishment. Take a look at clip 1.
Hey everyone, Kelly Loeffler. I've just come from a meeting with my former colleagues in the Senate. They understand how important small businesses, the One Big Beautiful Bill, is a small business bill. In fact, it's the most important small business bill we've ever had in the history of this country. Why? Because it makes permanent the 23% pass-through deduction. It creates immediate expensing for capital investments, for R&D, and for Made in America. It's pro-worker. It creates more take-home pay for our workers. No tax on tip, no tax on overtime. It doubles the child tax credit. Many of these benefits happen now in 2025. That's the urgency in getting this bill passed. We know Main Street is spring-loaded for growth, for investment and hiring. I'm so grateful for President Trump fighting for small business every single day, and the SBA is so proud to support this bill.
This is absolutely incredible. There it is, making the 23% pass-through deduction permanent. Sad thing is, maybe this is a little bit schadenfreude, but I cannot wait to see the leftist commies screech and scream about having more monies and more job opportunities. It's it's coming. Immediate expensing for capital investments, no tax on tips or overtime. This is groundbreaking. This is how you unleash American prosperity. For the leftist nihilists, this is a living nightmare. They can't stand it. They're going to either have to acknowledge that they hate money, that they hate having more opportunities, or they're just going to have to acknowledge that Trump is doing the right thing. The Democrats, they're panicking. Senator Baldwin claims that this bill rigs the tax code for big corporations. Now, here's what she won't tell you. This gives a 15% tax cut to hardworking Americans earning between $30,000 and $80,000. Watch her shameless deception. Run the clip.
Even worse, it is also in service of finding every dollar that they can to pay for their scheme to rig the tax code for big corporations and their wealthy friends. The more I think about it, I'm struck by the idea that this provision so perfectly captures what this Republican Party has come to stand for. To tilt the tax code in favor of the rich and huge corporations at all costs.
Give it a rest. I mean, why are you even talking about this at a pro-abortion Like, why are these ladies standing in the background with these pro Planned Parenthood signs? I mean, they're basically caught red-handed. These people will lie straight to your face while small businesses suffocate under their policies. But the numbers don't lie. For the first time in 4 years, taxes, not inflation, are small businesses' top concern. Why? Because President Trump is already winning the inflation battle. And now he's going for the knockout punch. Now, Loeffler breaks down the real impact on Fox News. Let's take a look.
Well, this bill is incredibly important. It'll deliver the largest tax cut in American history for our job creators and for working families. And as you just mentioned, it's small businesses. Look, these small business provisions, including making the pass-through deduction permanent, will unleash Main Street, including adding 1 million jobs, $750 billion in economic growth, not to mention what it does for working families. It puts on average $13,000 back into the pockets of hardworking families across this country. And so my message is that this one big, beautiful bill is pro-small business, it's pro-worker, and it puts America first by increasing the immediate expensing of investments in America. And that's what we need right now, because President Trump is already working on fair trade, on making sure we're deregulating. Now tax cuts, that's the number one concern of small businesses, is taxes. For the first time in 4 years, thanks to President Trump getting inflation under control.
$750 billion in economic growth, 1 million new jobs, $13,000 back in working families' pockets. That's not rhetoric. That is simple math. But Chuck Schumer, he's out there claiming Republicans are cutting Medicaid for the people who need it. Of course, he's not talking about American citizens. He's talking about illegal immigrants. You know, it's run-of-the-mill fear-mongering from one of the world's most infamous demagogues. Take a look at this clip.
Look, the bottom line is that the Republicans are trying to cut Medicaid for people who need it.
What a putz. What a putz. Trump has not touched any of the entitlement programs, even though like we might have to talk about austerity measures at a certain point. But that's not what's happening here. He's wrong. Schumer, okay? The bill protects Medicaid for Americans while stopping illegals from exploiting taxpayer programs, okay? More of our tax money going to more of our citizens. No more Happy Meals for illegal immigrants, okay? That's called putting America first. And that's what's really happening. Now, while Democrats fight for criminal illegal aliens, Tren de Aragua, will they fight for Tren de Aragua? Republicans are delivering historic relief to small business owners who've been crushed for years. Loeffler's passion tells the whole entire story. We're lucky to have her in Florida. Let's roll the clip.
I just came from a meeting with the Republican caucus where they were trying to solve problems for the American people, talking about cutting taxes for hardworking Americans, for small businesses, for protecting the entitlement programs for those who need it, for securing our border to prevent problems like this in the first place. This political theater is classic playbook of Chuck Schumer. The American people voted strongly against it November 5th, and they've also said that they want this tax cut passed. They want border security. They want opportunity for all Americans. And the Democrats are busy fighting for illegal criminal aliens while Republicans are fighting for the American people, for small businesses and hardworking Americans that deserve this tax cut while Democrats vote against it.
What a putz. This is the same guy who sat here on Capitol Hill, like basically inciting violence against conservatives. You know, this is, we're talking about political theater versus real solutions. All right, Chuck Schumer is fighting for illegal criminals at an event that exalts the wholesale slaughter of millions of babies. You see the signs in the background that we fight for Planned Parenthood. What is he even talking about? He's literally sitting here talking about fighting for illegal aliens above the lives of millions and millions and millions of unborn babies. Can we show that meme? Yeah, okay. Liberals fight to keep these and fight to kill these. I couldn't think of anything more salient right now to to illustrate the utter hypocrisy of liberal Democrats, especially world-class demagogues like Chuck Schumer. Now, Republicans, on the other hand, fight for life, prosperity, for American flourishing. Look at that flag flying over the SBA offices. It represents opportunity returning to America. The one big beautiful bill isn't just legislation, it's liberation for Main Street. Take a look at this clip.
Thanks to President Trump, opportunity and prosperity are returning to America. The one big beautiful bill will deliver the largest tax cut in history. It will make the small business tax deduction permanent, creating 1 million jobs and billions in economic opportunity. When you see the flag flying above our offices here, we'll remember all that it stands for, ever thankful for the privilege of working under its streaming stars and stripes, and for the most pro-business president in American history.
The most pro-small business bill in American history. This is what it means to fight for the little guy. This is what it means to fight for your citizen. This is the most pro-business president that we've ever had. The choice is clear. This isn't about red versus blue, unlike the commie DEI policies that have infected our society on a systemic level. The big beautiful bill doesn't discriminate between Democrats, Republicans, races, sexes, or anything else other than citizenship. It's about prosperity versus poverty, freedom versus dependence, truth versus lies. Democrats, they want you weak and begging for the scraps that they toss off the table like a dog, like an animal. And Trump wants you to be strong and to thrive. Now, if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. Got my final coming up. I've got my final thought coming up right now. This matters because small business is America. This is the backbone on which this country was created. Every job created, every family lifted up, every entrepreneur who takes that leap, that spends his last dollar to try to amplify his life and to create generational wealth for his family. That's the heartbeat of our republic. Democrats expose themselves. They fight tooth and nail for illegal aliens while American families struggle to put food on the table. And they lie about protecting the poor while blocking tax cuts that would save working families $13,000. They chose their side. Trump chose yours, your side. One big, beautiful bill. Permanent tax relief, immediate results. No more waiting for Washington to remember that Main Street even exists in the first place. This is economic warfare, and for once, since a long time I can remember, we are winning. Now, here's a controversial question. Should any politician who votes against this be banned from ever claiming that they support working families? Drop a Y for yes, drop an N for no in the comments. Let's see what we've got here. I want to see what we've got cooking here. And hey, show your support for real journalism. Check out our Next News merch shop linked below, and let's make America prosperous again.